I tried going from $0 to $10,000 a month in just 6 months to see if it was actually possible, and here's what happened. First, I wrote down a specific 5-step strategy that I created for starting a side hustle from scratch. Then I followed it. I opened my brand new business. I had no followers, I had no money, I had nothing. And you know, to start, it was slow. Yep, the first month I barely made any money, but well, my sales grew until eventually I was earning over $10,000 a month, sometimes over $4,000 a week. And I actually made a video about it showing exactly how I did it and how I opened a brand new Etsy print on demand clothing store selling niche clothing and made it a success. However, the problem with that video was I ran out of time to discuss the 5-step plan that I had created. And honestly, I really want to, because while I chose to start a new Etsy store, I think this plan can be applied to pretty much any new business or side hustle that you're interested in starting. Yep, and it is because the plan is built around doing one crucial thing, and that is by taking advantage of gaps in the market. A gap in the market is when people want something, but importantly, it does not yet exist, or it does exist, but not enough of it exists yet. Yep, you see, let's take for example a very different side hustle for a moment, starting a YouTube channel. Well, on YouTube, probably the #1 type of channel that new creators want to start is Minecraft clip and challenge channels, because Minecraft is the most popular video game in the world. And so as a result, a gap analysis graph would look like this. There'd be a lot of viewers who want to watch Minecraft videos, yes. But on the flip side, the supply of Minecraft videos would also be very high. Therefore, this line between the two is very balanced. It would be hard to break into this niche then on YouTube because there is enough videos being created to match with the demand. Whereas, let's take a very different type of YouTube channel that I recently highlighted in this video here, which is Pick One videos. These are a new type of video that have gone super viral in just the last 6 months. For example, this video here, it has had over 9 million views. And as you can see, this is a fairly simple video. It is really just showing a series of video clips, or it can show a series of pictures. Often they're AI generated, and they just ask the viewer to leave a comment on the video saying which one they would have picked because they like it the most. And well, as I showed, new channels posting these types of new videos were popping off, getting hundreds of thousands of subscribers and getting millions of views. And so then if we were to draw a gap analysis graph for it, we would see that the demand was high, people like watching these videos, but the supply is low because this is a new type of channel and video idea. And so you can see that this time the triangle is extremely unbalanced. This means that there is a gap in the market and that there is demand for new videos. And so now even new creators can come in here and they can balance it out. And so that is the key. No matter the business or side hustle that you want to start, I think it's much easier to do so by filling gaps in the market rather than just trying to copy what everyone else is doing. And so of course the next question is this: all right, Sarah, how do I actually do that? And that's a good question, which is why the very first thing I did was step 1, identify niches that I have an unfair advantage in. Yep, so the phrase niche means that you create a product or service or piece of content that appeals to a specific group of people. And so what I did was I went and I wrote down what types of niches that I myself am a customer in, or what types of niches I like to consume content in. And so for me, I'm interested in Nintendo, so I wrote that down. And I like watching and reading about true crime, and I'm also a train and plane nerd, and plus I absolutely love and adore dogs. So I wrote niches like that down that I myself am a consumer in. And the reason why I did that is because I think that it's these niches that you have an unfair advantage in, because it means then that to identify gaps in the market, you don't have to purchase any fancy marketing research software. Instead, all you have to do is ask yourself, okay, as someone who, for example, loves dogs, what dog thing, product or service or video would I like to watch, but that doesn't yet exist? Or alternatively, that does exist, but I would like more of. And then you just go and create that. As I often like to say, you can use yourself as a yardstick. basic. And so next up is step 2. I identified my unique skills that cross over with my unfair advantages. Yep, so next up, think about what unique skills that you have that you're better at compared to most people, because we're going to use these skills to see which gaps in the market that we can fill best. For example, as my subscribers know, I have an interesting unique skill in that I've spent a lot of time using Canva, so I'm pretty good now at using it to design things with the app. So I wrote Canva down as a unique skill that I have. Plus I'm also good at scripting and writing videos, and I'm good at writing sales copy, so I wrote those down as well. And also keep in mind when you're doing this, you don't have to be the best in the world at the skills to write them down on your list, but you probably do have some unique skills that you are good at compared to most people. And so once you have your list, you want to start thinking about how to combine both your niches and your skills together. And to do that, take a look at your niches where you have an unfair advantage and start thinking about any gaps in the market that you yourself have noticed as a consumer. So take me. When I was trying to build my new $10,000 business from scratch, I thought, okay, well, I love dogs, so what product is missing for me that I'd like to buy? And well, I do have my own dog, Starbuck. He is a Swedish Fellhund, which is an unusual breed of dog, and well, a few years ago I tried to find Swedish Fellhund clothing and I was disappointed in the lack of options that existed, because what I quickly realized is that while there were good, clever clothing choices for generic pet themed clothes, like say generic cat themed t-shirts or generic dog themed t-shirts, a lot less good options existed for specific animal breed designs, especially unique breeds like Swedish Fellhunds, with some shirts like this one here being so lazy as to use images that really looked far more like huskies rather than Fellhunds in their print designs. So yes, that was one gap in the market that I noticed, but there were other gaps that I noticed as well, not just for clothing. Nope. So for example, on Amazon, I'd already noticed that while there were a lot of good, helpful, and interesting books that discuss dogs generically, there are only 10 books in total on here that discuss Swedish Fellhunds, and the same thing often applied to other rarer dog breeds as well. If you wanted good books or ebooks on them, well, you were usually out of luck. So there were other product gaps like this one here that I noticed. However, if you take a look at my unique skills, the only skill somewhat related to writing ebooks is my skill in writing sales copy. And writing sales copy, if we're being honest here, is very, very different to writing a book, whereas the skill of writing sales copy is very helpful when writing out product page titles and descriptions for, say, a dog-themed t-shirt. And on my list of skills, there are other relevant skills for this business, such as my Canva knowledge, since, well, you can use Canva to design images for prints, such as prints for t-shirts. So clearly, my unique skill set matched up well with this business idea, and I picked it. But of course, just because this was a good business idea for me to start doesn't mean that it's necessarily a good business idea for you to start. So if you need help picking a business, my tip is to consider using an AI chatbot such as Google Gemini or Microsoft Copilot, or my personal favorite, ChatGPT, to help you choose one. Just come to ChatGPT and tell it what gaps in the market that you have noticed, and then tell it what your unique skills are, and ask it to take your unique skills and the market gaps that you have noticed and to combine them together to see which gaps it thinks that you should focus on and which ones would be best for you. Being able to use AI to help me brainstorm like this has honestly been a massive game changer for me. And once you've picked which gap you will fill, we can now move on to step 3, which is to open our business on a busy street. So you don't have to do this, but I chose to do this because it made selling clothing in my new clothing store much, much easier. Yep, because you see, let's imagine that you had decided to start a cafe, but you lived in the middle of the desert, so nobody ever walked past it. You'd probably struggle. Whereas if you instead lived in a bustling city and you opened your cafe on a busy street, people would naturally walk by it and see it, and if it looked good, they'd pop in. Now, sure, you could pay for a big marketing and advertising campaign to get people to come to your cafe in the desert, and if your cafe was spectacular, some people might still come, making it a success, but let's be honest, it is quicker and cheaper to just open your cafe where people are already walking by. And while on the internet, the busy streets are the big popular third-party websites. So for me, I chose to open my store on Etsy because every month hundreds of millions of people visit it and spend billions of dollars buying products from stores here each year, which meant that I didn't have to pay for advertising to get my store making money because people naturally found me just as they were browsing the website, which was great because since, well, I was starting from scratch, I didn't have any money to invest in marketing yet. So think about what busy street you could open up on. For example, for e-commerce businesses, you could consider Amazon and eBay too. And for content businesses, you can take a look at YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And for flipping side hustles, you could take a look at Facebook Marketplace and Poshmark. And for affiliate marketing businesses, you could also consider Medium and Pinterest. Basically, you've got lots of options to choose from, so much so that it might even be a bit overwhelming, in which case do keep in mind, you can always go to ChatGPT or another AI chatbot and ask it for ideas on which third-party websites or apps with a big customer base that you should consider focusing on. You might even discover some that you didn't even know existed. Then you can come to this website here, SimilarWeb, and enter the website or app you're interested in opening up on and see how many people use it to give you a better idea of just how much money can be made on it. But of course, it is important to keep in mind that, well, if your cafe didn't look good, then even if you opened up on a busy street, nobody would pop in anyway. They would just walk on by. So it is crucial that once you've picked your busy street to open up on the internet, that you come to YouTube and watch tutorials and videos about how to stand out and look good on these platforms. There is a wealth of information available on here for free. For example, I created this video here where I show how I optimize my Etsy product listings to get free traffic from their algorithm. So pick a busy street like this and start deep diving into it with free education here on YouTube. And then it's time to move on to step 4. Cut costs by strategically finding free alternatives. Yep, because chances are the reason why you're trying to make money is because you don't have a lot of money, and so I think it's smart in the beginning to try and cut costs as much as possible by buying as little as possible. Yep, and a great way to do that is to, again, ask an AI chatbot like ChatGPT to help you strategically come up with ways to cut costs. So, of course, I had my new business idea to create a clothing line, and I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars to manufacture my clothing in advance to resell like a traditional retail store does. So I asked ChatGPT for low-cost or free alternatives. And as you can see, on its own, it came up with a bunch of options for me, one of course being print on demand, which of course is exactly what I used. I signed up for print on demand apps like Printify. With Printify, you register for a free account, then you can go through their list of blank products, and then you just upload your image onto the product that you choose and list it for a markup price. And then whenever somebody comes and buys it from you, Printify will see the order and they'll charge your card on file the base item costs. Then they'll send the order to their print shop, which will then print your design onto the product, and then they'll ship it out to the customer while you get to keep the difference as profit. It means then that I was able to sell my new clothes practically for free, especially because I used a credit card, because of the fact that I only purchased clothing items after the customer had already bought them from me. Yes, and if you want to learn more about how I and others earn passive income every day from print-on-demand stores, then you should be sure to download a copy of my free ebook, The 6 Steps that Six-Figure Online Stores Follow to Earn Over $10,000 a Month with Print on Demand. I will have a link to my free ebook in the video description below. But anyway, back to the video. So yes, that is one way that you can use ChatGPT to help you cut costs, but another is using it to help you find free alternatives. For example, if I need an advanced image editor, but I don't want to pay $23 a month for Adobe Photoshop, I can ask ChatGPT to help me locate a free alternative app to use instead. And well, one of the options it recommended to me was Photopea, which is exactly the app that I used and still use right now. It is a free Photoshop clone that runs in your internet browser and I love it. But yes, this was just my example from my business idea and my gap in the market that I had found. You can input any business idea that you have that you'd like to do and input any costs that you have faced in setting it up and ask the AI to help you brainstorm a free or low-cost alternative to use instead. And then after that, it's on on to step 5, reinvest and scale through compounding growth. Yes, so it's super fascinating. If you come and take a look, you'll see that the sales in my new store were slow, but over time they scaled and grew rapidly until 6 months later I was earning well over $10,000 a month, sometimes over $4,000 a week. And that is through the power of compounding returns. Yep, as customers found me for free while browsing on Etsy and then purchased items from me, I then took the money that I made and reinvested it back into the business. And if I hadn't reinvested my profits, getting to $10,000 would have been much slower. And there are 3 main ways that you can reinvest back into your business to achieve this compounding growth. One way is to outsource grunt work to buy back your time. Yep, time is an extremely valuable resource when it comes to making money because for me, you think about it, right? If I'm creating clothing designs featuring different types of dogs, then the more dogs I can feature in my store, the more potential customers that I can reach, which in turn makes me more money. So in my personal case here, the equation for making money was simple. The more products I have equals the more money I make. But creating product designs takes time. And as more customers started buying from me, something else started happening: emails. Yep, as my sales grew, the number of customers emailing me also grew. So what did I do? I reinvested my profits into hiring somebody to answer my emails for me. This meant I could save time and use it to design more products instead. So finding ways to use your money to save your time, if used wisely, will ultimately lead to, well, more money. Plus, you can also reinvest money by using automation as another way to buy back your time. Yep, so remember back earlier in the video that I was talking about the pick one video side hustle, and I was talking about this video. So you think about it, right? The clips in this video here showcasing these different bedrooms. If you were to crawl through the internet, you could find some free video clips of bedrooms that you could feature in your video, and that would be a free way to do it, but it would be a very slow way to get these clips. And so alternatively, you could instead just invest into AI automation by purchasing a subscription to an AI video generator like Runway. This would let you generate video clips of weird, cool, and strange scenes like bedrooms to grab people's attention within seconds. And well, if you think about it, the money equation for this side hustle is very simple. The more videos they post equals the more views they get equals the more money they make. And so the faster they can get video clips to turn into video montages, the more views and money that they can get on YouTube, which means then that investing into AI automation with an app like Runway could help massively speed up the process of making videos. Plus, while not relevant to all business ideas, another way that you might be able to reinvest is through paid advertising and marketing. Yep, lots of third-party websites like Google and Amazon and Facebook offer paid advertising options. And so for me, because I opened my store on Etsy, I of course took advantage of their paid search ads, which you can tell are ads because they have the ad by Etsy seller tag. My profit margins were at the time on average around 30% per sale, so depending on the day, the profit I'd make from ads would be small at most. However, making a big profit was not the purpose of me purchasing my paid ads. Instead, the reason why I did it was to support my compounding growth, which is exactly what they did, because by investing into ads, I got extra sales. And the more sales I got, the more happy customers I had, which left me more positive reviews. And the more positive reviews I got, the more that customers browsing on Etsy were likely to choose my store and to buy from it. And so by being patient and not spending my profits on fancy toys like cars, but instead reinvesting it back into my business, it compounded my growth, which paid off with bigger profits in the future. So if you'd like to learn ways that people are starting businesses and earning money online for free, be sure to watch my next video here on screen, and I'll see you in the next video.